Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now.
So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody.
How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly?
Some observers suggest this may finally shed light on how Diddy sidestepped serious consequences for years. The theory isn't that he was untouchable, it's that he mastered the mechanics of power in the music industry. Critics trace a pattern back to his 1999 club trial, when rumors of shocking practices, including so-called blood sacrifices, first emerged. While unproven, these claims highlight a system where fear, leverage, and silence, rather than innocence, may have kept the machinery of influence running unchecked.
We're in the park. I'm running where we're going. And as we're going towards the boathouse, I look in the distance, and there's this man in all black. He's in all black. And he turns, and it looked like he had the white collar. I couldn't be sure, I couldn't be positive, but it looked like he had the white collar, because Puff said, "Yo, Gene, stay right here." And I stayed right there, and he kept on walking. So when Puff gets directly to the dude, he gets down on his knees. When he gets down on his knees, this man takes something, and it seemed like it had smoke in it, and he started doing it around Puff. And then he went back and forth, and then he went up and down with it, sideways with it, then back around him. And then he put it down, and then he put his hand on Puff's head, and I guess he started, saying something. I don't even really know what he said, but I couldn't tell what he said. You understand what I'm saying? Long story short, I see Puff reach into this case. And when he reached into this case, he came out, and you could see something white in his hand. I didn't know it was a bird. I didn't know what it was at first. But he threw it up in the air. And when he threw it in the air, the came straight back down like it was a brick and said, "Bow," on the concrete. And I was like, oh, that was a dove, that was a bird.
What makes the current climate so unnerving, say many observers, is the tension surrounding Diddy's continued freedom. Whispers now circulate about who might feel exposed, who could suddenly grow wary for having distanced themselves when the stakes turn dark. A sense of unease spreads as past alliances, or perceived betrayals, threaten to resurface. Inevitably, one name rises first: Jay-Z. Not due to new evidence, but because of his history, his proximity, and the lingering questions about how far certain industry ties truly ran.
Jay-Z is setting Diddy up.
Puffy basically, or I keep saying Puffy, Diddy gets to get out, be with his family. They didn't really railroad him like they did R. Kelly.
Isn't that interesting how I've been saying that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Since 2022, I've been talking about acceptable monsters. Hand-selected, hand-picked. Tell me something. How does R. Kelly's music get snatched off the radio and Diddy's doesn't?
But why focus on Jay-Z? According to Jaguar Wright, the story runs far deeper than the public sees. She claims Diddy and Jay-Z now stand at a critical crossroads, one that could reshape hip-hop's legacy entirely. Behind the scenes, it's not about headlines or fame, but a tense struggle between loyalty and truth. Jaguar contends that this unspoken battle pits preserving a carefully crafted image against confronting uncomfortable realities. Whether her claims hold or not, she insists this is a turning point, where silence may no longer protect the past.
Told us that Jay-Z won't be able to stay silent about his connection to Diddy. And baby, she wasn't lying, because Jaguar Wright was just on Piers Morgan exposing the out of Jay-Z. Jaguar Wright was calling out Jay-Z for his silence, saying that now he's gonna have no choice but to talk because he has connections with Diddy, R. Kelly, Epstein, and Harvey Weinstein. She also said that she has victims that have video footage of these freak-offs and what they do to people, and she said that she saw what Jay-Z and Beyonce were allegedly doing to people. Jaguar Wright even said that Jay-Z is the one that allegedly set up R. Kelly because he knew everything that he was doing and he was doing the same shit. And she said that Jay-Z is the one that funded surviving R. Kelly because his best friend for years is Dream Hampton. And baby, she wasn't lying. Jay-Z and Dream Hampton have been friends for years.
Some observers now suggest the pressure surrounding Diddy is escalating behind the scenes, with survival in that world often tied to leverage. The theory is that if the tide truly turns against him, he could feel compelled to name other powerful figures to protect himself, Jay-Z potentially included. Meanwhile, Jaguar Wright continues to stoke controversy, claiming that alleged hidden rituals and satanic sacrifice ties to Diddy remain largely undisclosed. While unproven, these assertions add a darker, more volatile edge to an already explosive narrative.
It's one thing to write it all off as weird sex stuff, but it's another thing when you look at it for what, in my opinion, I believe it actually is.
And what is it?
Demonic, ritualistic behaviors, humiliation rituals. Offerings to the devil.
We were just talking about that. Revelation 17. The mystery of Babylon. I don't think people really want to get into that when they talk about mystery Babylon and the abominations and the rituals, the sex rituals, the traffic to the, traffic jam.
I mean, we all know the saying that they have out here, right? They say that the music industry, the film industry, Hollywood and all that is the devil's playground. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. What about you? Leave it in the comment section. Let's talk about it, but let's also continue.
The selling of your body, all that stuff, mystery of Babylon, y'all.
Like, I want y'all to really think about what they were talking about. See, everybody was, the spreading of bodily fluids from one person to another, using one person as a receptacle, and then taking it from that person's body and then putting it and smearing it all over like these.
To grasp how things reached this boiling point, you have to rewind to the era when Jay-Z and Diddy ruled hip-hop like royalty. They weren't just chart toppers, they were cultural architects. Jay-Z built Roc Nation, Diddy built Bad Boy, and together they forged empires that reshaped music, fashion, business, and the very definition of success. Their parties became legendary, their alliances seemed untouchable, and loyalty appeared unbreakable. But according to Jaguar Wright, that bond wasn't maintained by friendship alone. She claims it was cemented by shared secrets, secrets so dangerous that if they ever surfaced, they wouldn't just topple careers, they could unravel the entire empire.
Diddy could have definitely been like an undercover CIA agent like Jeffrey Epstein. I watched that in a video or something. And it's possible that he came in the game young, because I heard that a story of Gene Deal saying that Diddy had to go meet with the feds. He don't know what it was about, and it was in his earlier part of his career. I wonder if he could have been working with him for all these years. Who knows? Let's talk about it in the comments, but we're going to continue.
SC's magic. Sure enough. Yeah, Jay-Z, he wears the Aleister Crowley t-shirts.
Well, I got dragged.
He had a line of his own clothing. Like, I want y'all to really think about this.
I got dragged for bringing that to people's attention. They were like, "Oh yeah, he's a conspiracy theorist because he said." I'm like, no, that's what he wore, and he was with Abramovich. Like, yeah, y'all gotta, who you hang with is who you are.
I'm still trying to understand how people want to sit there and talk about me, and he's sitting there frontal lobe to frontal lobe with a known witch. And people don't question.
And the funny thing is
thou wilt. Yeah.
The funny thing is when you talk about witches, and I'm still not gonna go in on this this raccoon of a content creator who decided to shout you out one minute and then try to drag you for going on a platform and saying, you said about witchcraft takes one to know one, and he just automatic, is you a witch? So the thing is that's another smear campaign, your credibility, and then they go after your.
You want to know what's
funny?
I don't
want to say religiosity. What is it?
What is what?
No, I'm saying they go after your credibility.
Jaguar Wright pushes the theory even further, suggesting that Diddy's only real path to survival may be full cooperation, laying bare everything he allegedly knows about the industry. She frames it not as justice, but as self-preservation, arguing that when someone is cornered at that level of power, survival outweighs loyalty. According to Wright, if Diddy were ever to speak freely, it wouldn't just clear his own record. It could unravel long-protected networks and force the industry to confront truths it has ignored for decades. Whether that moment comes remains uncertain, but she insists that the mere possibility is enough to make powerful players uneasy.
Wright tried telling us about Jay-Z and Diddy and nobody believed her. I remember her very first interview years ago saying how Diddy was a trafficker and everybody thought she was crazy and everybody ridiculed everything she had to say. Well, now does she seem crazy? What I love about Jaguar Wright is watching her time and time again get vindicated on things that she says. Like, it was so crazy back then that nobody wanted to believe it, but now that we are seeing things come to light, how crazy is it actually? I've always been the type that can't stand when people are called crazy because the things that they are saying are hard for a person to believe. This doesn't make a person crazy, and these people wouldn't be saying these things for no reason. We watch it happen time and time again with these situations, just like Cat Williams, just like Michael Jackson, just like Aaron Carter, and even Kanye. I really feel like in 2024, everybody has woken up and seen that all of these people saying this throughout the years, they're not crazy. They're not saying all of this for no reason, and it's something that I've known for years. Jaguar Wright literally told us a couple months ago the next person that was going to go down with Diddy was going to be Jay-Z, and she has been standing on their neck for years now. She's even talked about Jay-Z's alleged relationships with younger people in the past, such as Aaliyah, such as Foxy Brown, such as Rihanna, and even Beyonce.
Jaguar Wright identifies a figure she believes is central to the story, Kathy Corona White, but she presents everything as allegation, not established fact. Wright claims Kathy was reportedly involved in a secret relationship with Jay-Z and allegedly pregnant at the time. She further suggests Kathy intended to go public and died just 24 hours later. No official evidence confirms these claims, and no wrongdoing has been proven, yet Wright insists the timing alone raises suspicion. For her, this isn't gossip. It's about unresolved questions, sealed stories, and why some narratives vanish before they can ever be fully told.
White's life was taken unfairly. She actually died screaming. And the Carters are responsible. But one of them is just a little more responsible than the other. Question is, did Sean Carter delete his mistress, his pregnant mistress, because his wife was jealous? Or could it be possible that maybe his wife's temper is just a little worse than most people think? And maybe he just had to clean it up to protect the brands.
Wright takes the allegations even further, claiming that both Diddy and Jay-Z supposedly know the full story of Kathy White, and that if Diddy ever chose to cooperate with investigators, he could allegedly reveal everything. The question, she argues, is whether he ever will. According to Wright, the cracks in their alliance didn't appear overnight. They emerged quietly over years. Fans noticed Jay-Z skipping one of Diddy's major events, and Diddy returning the silence by missing J's. On camera, smiles hid the growing distance, but in an industry where every move is scrutinized, absence spoke volumes. Adding fuel to the speculation, Roger Bonds, Diddy's former head of security, has shared insights many interpret as evidence of just how fractured their relationship may have become.
What was interesting was that Jay-Z's camp basically put out a statement saying that Jay and Puff are not friends and they're not close at all or whatever else. Did you see the two of them interact a lot?
I seen them interact, but I wouldn't say they was close. I believe Puff felt they was close.
Oh.
But if you was a person on the outside looking in, like me and Uncle Paulie used to always talk about it, me and D-Rock and stuff like, yo, why Puff kind of like sucking Jay off so much? You know what I'm saying? Because you'd be like, we done flew to 5 or 6, 7 different concerts that Jay-Z has. But Jay-Z is not at one of Puff's shows. You know what I'm saying? You look at the Rock brunch where Puff will break his neck to get to the brunch, but Jay-Z don't pop up at any of Puff parties. You know, now I can only speak up until 2012. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was breaking his neck. Like, at the end of the day, in our mind, we say, yo, he ain't even invite Puff to his wedding. When he married Beyonce, Steve Stout and all of them was there. You know what I'm saying? And Puff was kind of in his feelings, but once again.
Oh, Puff was upset he didn't get invited to the wedding?
Of course he was.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? But you got to remember, we're security, so we're bottom on a topo. So he's not going to show you that it really affects him until you have a little conversation with him, or you say something, or you overhear something. But he didn't get invited to that, you know. Yeah, Jay came through every once in a while. Like if we was in a yacht in San Tropez or one of these places like that, Jay might ride up, you know what I'm saying? And it's more or less to show, yeah, I got a yacht too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm out here too. More or less than we're tight friends. I look at it as two people that's getting money because they did have some businesses together, and we did have to go to some meetings together, and it was like, this is how far it goes, but we're not friends. You know what I'm saying? Like, people ask me that all the time. I mean, Jay ain't really with Puff. It was no personal into it. It would be like if Ron Burgos is flying from LA on his jet, but Jay-Z just so happens to be going to New York too. We all end up on the jet, flying back, those type of things, but nothing to go out his way into. If we in a club, you might be downtown or dead or something like that, Jay-Z might be there, so they end up at the same table, you know what I'm saying? And it was times where I listen to the records now where Jay-Z said, yo, why should I drink Ciroc when why should I drink Grey Goose when Puff got Ciroc? This is something new that just started happening, because I remember we almost got into a big altercation with Pecos and them because...
Rashawn Pecos?
Yeah, because Puff was there and Jay and them was there, and they had a bunch of Grey Goose bottles come to the table. And Puff felt like, yo, that was disrespectful, and he knocked over the Grey Goose bottles, you know what I'm saying?
Jaguar Wright has repeatedly maintained these claims over the years, consistently placing Jay-Z and Diddy at the center of her narrative. She has drawn provocative parallels, grouping names like Harvey Weinstein, Jeffrey Epstein, R. Kelly, and Diddy, not as verified equals, but as figures she believes were shielded by power until exposure forced accountability. Wright contends that Jay-Z, in contrast, has stayed largely untouchable by operating quietly behind the scenes, allowing others to take the public fall. While these are unproven allegations, Wright emphasizes the pattern itself: who faces scrutiny, who survives it, and why some names seem perpetually insulated from consequence.
Allegedly,
Sean Carter is responsible for enacting Hype Williams to put Aaliyah on a faulty plane to move her out the way as punishment for rejecting him, and so he could level up Beyonce, who was struggling. Let's just say allegedly that happened. Now I want you to think about 106th and Park with Mary J. Blige. Free, who is a victim of Sean Carter.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, who is a victim of Sean Combs, are sitting there talking about the death of Aaliyah amongst each other. Think about that. You got a Diddy victim, you got a Jay-Z victim, and you got a superstar gone. They know what happened.
And according to Jaguar Wright, that's precisely why she believes Diddy could eventually expose Jay-Z. She argues that when pressure reaches a critical threshold, loyalty ceases to protect and instead becomes a liability. In her view, if Diddy ever feels truly cornered, self-preservation would take precedence, potentially meaning revealing what he allegedly knows about those who once stood beside him. These are unproven claims, but Wright maintains that the history, the silences, and the shifting alliances all suggest a single possibility. If the truth emerges, it won't stop with just one name.
That if he's cornered in the way that he's been now, that he may start revealing things about other people.
He has no choice. His ego and his addiction won't allow him to do anything different. Anybody who thinks he's not gonna talk is crazy. He's got everybody on tape. They all know it. It's a mess. Dream Hampton spearheaded the Surviving R. Kelly campaign, which fueled the Me Too campaign. And that was all funded by Sean Carter to make sure that Robert Kelly went to jail. Get his lick back. Why is nobody understanding that Dream Hampton was being financed and ran by Sean Carter? They were able to go and get all of these witnesses because he was there with Robert Kelly. How does Jay-Z sit down with Gayle King and she not ask him one question about the intersection between him and Aaliyah and Robert Kelly? This is insane that people keep refusing to see what's right there.
How many victims potentially do you think there could be?
Thousands. Thousands. I've talked to hundreds that I deal with still myself. I have 3 victims right now who are willing to give testimony about not only what Mr. Carter has done to them, but his wife as well.
Jaguar Wright admits her claims sound extreme, but she insists this isn't unfamiliar ground. She says she's been raising alarms for years, warning that Jay-Z and Diddy didn't just shape the industry. They allegedly controlled it through fear, leverage, and subtle manipulation. In her view, their power wasn't just about talent. It was enforced through quiet intimidation and unspoken consequences that kept people in line. Wright argues that what's happening now isn't sudden. It's the long overdue exposure of a system she claims operated in plain sight, shielded for decades by silence and obedience.
You know, it's so funny because my videos are being heavily suppressed. You know, I gotta read you guys this. It's funny. It's like they really want to corral everywhere I go and who I talk to and what I say. Oh, hold on. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Oh, I don't have it in here. I sent myself the wrong one. No, that was a long. Oh, but then there is this. Oh, did you see this? Have you seen this? Yeah. Jaguar Wright, almost unalive by Diddy's hitman. Noah Jacob, TV. I shouted him out once before. I guess they paid you real good.
You fake Christian piece of crap. Bearing false witness. You call yourself a Christian? Bearing false witness, you stupid little kid. Because if you think I'm not going to come after your platform, and if you think I'm not going to make sure that everybody goes to your platform and report you for the lies you told with your AI evidence video that you put up.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what the video said? That number one, it said Diddy's hitman, but I thought Diddy and Jay-Z wasn't friends.
Whether you take Jaguar right at face value or not, her words have reignited one of hip-hop's most explosive debates. How much truth remains buried beneath fame, fortune, and enforced silence? And she isn't alone. Oschino highlights that the most shocking part of Diddy's alleged unraveling isn't the accusations themselves. It's how quickly those once closest to him, especially Jay-Z, began to vanish from view. Once equals, two self-made moguls who ruled the game side by side, Jay-Z allegedly moved fast to distance himself as the storm approached, ensuring his name stayed far from the chaos.
Puff Daddy's still Puff Daddy. He's not going to be able to do none of the stuff he was doing before, though, as far as business-wise.
Look, Puff Daddy and Jay-Z were considered peers at one point. Now, Jay-Z and Diddy are not talked about in the same
Jay-Z
sentence.
got the fuck away from that shit fast. You know what I'm saying?
Jay-Z was like, yeah, I don't know him. I know him, but not like that.
Yo, the niggas got like 80 pictures together at all type of parties.
I know,
him.
of course they know each other.
Hov said, listen,
People
I don't
just
know.
try to
Hov
distance
said,
themselves.
you know, Hov ain't going for Hov. Like, I don't know, boy. We did it. We was together a couple times. I don't know, boy. I don't got nothing to do with that. Like,
Oschino emphasizes that this pivot occurred despite decades of evidence. Dozens of photos showing Jay-Z and Diddy together at parties, awards, and major industry events. Once the situation soured, Jay allegedly treated their relationship as if it barely existed, carefully reframing it as business rather than friendship. According to Oschino, it wasn't personal, it was survival. Staying close to Diddy under mounting scrutiny risked dragging Jay's own name into a storm he didn't need. Speculation has only intensified with talk of Jay's past alleged connections to FBI informants, fueling claims, and proven, that his distancing is a calculated move to protect his position as the drama around Diddy continues to escalate.
hey, what's been kind of quiet lately, though?
Well,
As far as Kanye West concerned.
here's the thing, right? Kanye, and I know some of the people around him, it's like Kanye can no longer do a lot of things he could do before.
Like what?
He can't tour in Europe. He can't tour in America. He has to go to like China, South Korea, like Brazil. There's only a few places in the world that'll book him. He can't even go into Australia. Like Australia said that the Hail Hitler song got him banned to even enter the country, even though his wife is Australian. He wasn't even trying to perform. They wouldn't even let him in the country. Listen, you start doing songs like Hail Hitler, you become a symbol of hatred to the world.
That's the worst. That's like one of the worst people you could ever try.
You know, I interviewed the dude that wrote that song, Dave Blunt's. You know, the big...
Okay, what's that? Write this song.
Nah, well, he performed it though. I mean, it's still his song. But yeah, no, Dave Blunt's wrote it. He also wrote the cousin song, the one about giving his cousin head. And I asked him, I'm like...
So who's this guy? Who's this guy that wrote the songs?
Dave Blunt. He's like the 600-pound rapper.
Oschino finds this part of the story particularly striking. He notes that Perez's prior cooperation with federal authorities is widely known in the industry, yet somehow he climbed to a high-ranking role at Roc Nation, a company whose entire brand revolves around street credibility and independence. To skeptics, that contradiction sparks uncomfortable questions and hints at possible deeper federal involvement. Oschino emphasizes these are suspicions, not verified facts, but they align with Gene Deal's claims that the Diddy controversy doesn't end with one individual and could expose a much broader network operating behind the scenes.
So I want to go back to the comments you made earlier about these tapes, and I want you to give more clarity. So you believe they only got Puffy because they wanted these tapes. What do you think is on these tapes?
Bro, you gotta realize you got people like Prince Harry. Prince Harry was at a Diddy party. You got some of the same Universal executives. Diddy made it cool for, I'm just gonna say it like this, man, whites to hang out with the hood dudes. Dude from the hood, he made it cool and safe for them to hang out with the white executives. They used them for that. They used them enough, whereas that now you got white executives doing Diddy-like parties. Remember the dude from, what's that, Frantic? The clothing line, the sports line? They was mad because they didn't get invites to his party because he was doing white parties, doing parties like Diddy. Now I ain't talking about the freak off party part of it, but I'm just saying, he was doing those parties and everybody, there was rappers, or I think Stephen A. Smith said something about he was upset that he didn't get no invite. So it was those parties that everybody wanted to be at. So Diddy have on tape, he taped everything. He taped everything and taped everybody.
If any of this ever comes to light and more powerful figures fall, the top tier of the industry could shrink dramatically, leaving far fewer competitors for Jay-Z and Beyonce. That's why some speculate he could be next, pointing to moments when alliances quietly dissolved in favor of self-preservation. Others argue Jay is too insulated, too strategic, and too protected for a rapid downfall. After all, it reportedly took over a decade to build the case against Diddy. By that logic, a serious move against Jay could be years or even decades away. The wild card, critics say, would be cooperation from someone already under pressure. If that happens, everything changes. Is this simply a long game of power, positioning, and survival at the highest level of hip-hop? Drop your thoughts in the comments below.